The meeting of the Plaquemines Parish Council as the sole governing authority of the Plaquemines Port Harbor Internal District is called to order at 4:50 PM. Machines are open for roll call.
Yep, I was doing that. Oh, cool. No, I have the jumped message.
Let the record reflect all 9 councilmen or commissioners are present. Mr. Edwards stepped out really quick. Next item, please.
2, executive session, there are none. 3, status report by the executive port director.
Mr. Tilson.
Okay, in your books, you have a copy of the financials, this period's comparison to the last period. Any questions?
Negative.
Okay. The next page, page 2, Point LaHash Ferry Landing update. We're finalizing the punch list. We had a meeting today with Infinity Engineering as well as Deep South. We'll have more details on that, but we're working through finalizing that project. No real changes to the Point LaHash Ferry Landing. The replacement, other than the notice to proceed, has been awarded to the contractor, and that project is moving quickly, and our director of projects will be managing that closely. Point LaHash Ferry Landing on page 3, I'm sorry, Point LaHash Ferry, the repairs to that vessel, the vessel is actually being worked on right now as we speak, and we anticipate that it will be fully operational sometime today. We may be able to run 2 ferries tomorrow morning to test it out, but our plan right now is to try to have that ferry ready, repositioned back down here to have the Belle Chase repositioned back here for the evening of tomorrow. So we will update everybody as we make our progress on that. The Plaquemines Pride, right now, the delivery date back to us has been pushed back to June the 15th. We determined that the crack in the muffler is something that we didn't want to just repair the muffler and bring it back, because if it was to start leaking again, it could possibly leak in the engine room. And we just, in order to fix it, if it started to leak again, we would need to bring a crane down. And so we're just opting to go ahead and put a new muffler on the vessel itself. So June 15th is the anticipated date coming back. Port Authorities 1 and 2. The Port Authority 1 is due back next week. The Port Authority 2 is probably going to be another 2 weeks before we see her coming back. And no real updates on the New Bill Ferry. So now moving over to the next slide, which is Peters Road Bridge Project. The redesign contract was awarded to BKI. We're very excited about that. I know President Hinckley has been in extensive discussions with BKI. I actually met with them briefly yesterday. We anticipate that project is going to move quickly. And the director of projects from the port, as well as the director of projects from the parish, are working closely with BKI as well as DOTD to make this project happen. The preliminary design estimated timeline is 18 months, but we anticipate that it will happen faster than that because of all of the work that's already been done. Next slide. 11 Mile Rail Extension, we continue to work with the different partners on the alignment. We're making contact with CPRA to start looking at surveying the land around that property right now, but we continue to make that progress. I sent all of the commissioners a change in the terms and conditions to the MOU with Freeze and Nichols. And it was just a few minor changes that came back in the final document that I received, it was actually, that contract was approved at the last meeting. So I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to read that. What I can tell you is Dewar Cambray did review those changes. They are minimal and we don't see any impact. But I at least wanted to give all of the commissioners an opportunity container land purchase, we continue to move forward with that. Peters Road Rail Bypass Project. The 30% design is continuing to progress. No major updates there. And then the last slide that I have here is just this is a high-level rendering that we have on our website of the container terminal project. And essentially, what you will see here, it's a little difficult to see on this copy here, but the yellow color is 60 to 70 feet, and the brown color that you see there is 55 to 65 feet. So, I mean, the idea here is just to show what the water depth looks like outside of the proposed container terminal. And with that, we have one last slide, which is an HR update. We've started interviews with legal counsel, so we're in the first round now. We've already interviewed 5 candidates. Legal secretary is being advertised again. The HR analyst is being advertised, and the IT manager is pending a civil service review. And then the senior clerk is scheduled to start now on May the 25th. And with that, that concludes my executive director report.
Thank you, Mr. Tilson. Any comments from the public? None? Mr. Jursich?
Yes, I'm glad you decided to change that muffler out, because if you start welding a old muffler cracks, all it's gonna do is continue to crack. I was gonna mention that, so I'm glad you made that decision, because I think if you continue, that's a situation we'd be fighting, so I appreciate y'all making, I know it puts a delay in it, but get it right, that's all, thank you. That was it.
That was easy.
No other comments. Next item, please.
5, introduction of ordinances and resolutions.
I got it.
Following are under Councilmember Schultz, Commissioner Schultz, a resolution authorizing Charles D. Tillotson, Executive Director for and on behalf of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District, to name and accept the proposal of the Plaquemines Gazette as the official journal for the Plaquemines Parish Council/Commission as the sole governing authority of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance authorizing Charles D. Tillotson, Executive Director of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District, to issue task order number 17 to Lanier and Associates for the engineering services and detailed design of the Port Administration Building renovation project. The detailed design will include schematic design, detailed design, construction documents, bid support, and construction administration services, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance authorizing Charles D. Tillotson, Executive Director of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District, to issue task order number 7 to Infinity Engineering Consultants, LLC, for engineering and design services associated with the rail velocity study and simulation for the 11-mile rail extension and Peters Road Rail Bypass projects in connection with the container terminal project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance authorizing Charles D. Tillotson, Executive Director of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District, to issue task order number 18 to Lanier and Associates for engineering, survey, and project management services associated with the developing cost estimate for Phase 1 of the container terminal project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. A resolution authorizing Executive Director Charles D. Tillotson of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District to re-enter into a 12-month professional services agreement with Rockwood Steel to provide grant writing and administrative services, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. A resolution authorizing and directing Charles D. Tillotson, Executive Director of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District, to enter into lease negotiations with a confidential customer for a project known as Gateway Trade Lane and will be confidential until further notice and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. A resolution amending Resolution Number 24-356, clarifying the cost share for the Port Salford Tower Site Addition Project with the Plaquemines Parish Sheriff's Office and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. A resolution authorizing the Executive Director, Charles D. Tillotson of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District to enter into and execute a memorandum of agreement with the United States Coast Guard for shared use of surveillance cameras and access to the Coast Guard Communications Tower in Venice, Louisiana, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. A resolution authorizing Charles D. Tillotson, Executive Director of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District, to enter into and execute a memorandum of understanding with the Regional Planning Commission as required by the Federal Trade Administration and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. A resolution authorizing Charles D. Tillotson, Executive Director of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District, to enter into and execute a master services agreement with IEM on a task order basis to increase the port's security enhancement measures and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And finally, a resolution to approve a change order from Louisiana Caterpillar for the overhaul of the port's fireboat engines and otherwise to provide with respect thereto.
Keep that one in.
And one more, an ordinance to amend the 2025 manpower structure and operating expenditure budget for the reallocation of positions within the ferry and rescue boat departments and otherwise to provide with respect thereto.
For your copy. All right, at this time, we'll go through deferrals and withdrawals. All right. Yeah, I need to know what, that's not on my list. All right. 6C will be deferred. 6E will be deferred. 6I, 6J, 6K will all be deferred. 6E will be withdrawn. Administration, I'm withdrawing it, but she just reread it into the record because of all the changes where we don't have to read the changes when it comes up for a vote. So
Concur.
that got reintroduced, just where y'all are aware. I pulled out, Ronnie actually gave me that suggestion, so that was spur of the moment.
You can take credit for it,
So
Mr. Chairman.
6C will be deferred. 6E was withdrawn. 6I, J, and K are all deferred. Everybody good?
Good.
Thank you. Next item, please.
6, ordinances and resolutions on second reading and final passage. 6B, an ordinance to authorize Executive Director Charles D. Tillotson of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District, DBA, Louisiana Gateway Port, to award a contract for the removal and replacement of the port's administration building roof and to amend the 2025 Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District capital improvement budget and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And this has a fill in the blank.
This has changes. On line 19, the amount of $418,065. Line 22, New Works LLC. Line 37, building renovation project is filled in the blank. Line 38, the fill in the blank is $418,065. Line 39, the account code is 490-9029, building renovation. Object code 567.253, building improvement port renovation. And the amount is $418,065. With that, I ask for a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Newsom. Any comments from the audience? Administration? Table. Machines are open. Next item, please.
D, an ordinance to amend the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District, DBA, Louisiana Gateway Port, 2025 manpower structure and operating expenditure budget for the unclassified position of Director of Communications and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Commissioner Schultz.
I ask for a second. Second by Mr. Kokrovich.
You can take that
Wait, okay, yes. All right. Any comments from the audience? Administration. Table. Ms. McCarty. Cognizant.
I'd like to offer a change to increase by a single CPI for compensation instead of two 9% raises. And to keep the reason I'm doing this is because I think the additional responsibility that we're looking to give this person, instead of doing that, we should start to put all of our work in-house and hire people who are specialized in that sort of field. I do want to mention that I think that the communications department has had stellar engagements with professional media. But I'm saying all this because I'm obligated by law. Louisiana RS 12:1-830 requires directors and executives to act in good faith with care prudent to or with similar to their training, like an MBA, CPA, or JD or similar, would exercise. So that's why I am making this recommendation.
So are you offering an official amendment? And what do you want to do?
I want to offer a single, instead of the two 9% increases, to renew the contract with the CPI increase.
All right. Instead of going through all that, do we have a second? Do we have a second? You want to comment first? Or you need a second if you want to comment right now.
I'll do a second.
All right. Second by Mr. Jurisic. All right, Mr. Jurisic, you want to comment? Wait, hold on. Hold on. Any comments from the audience on the amendment? Administration. Table, Mr. Jurisic.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I got a question. You know, it's like a 9% increase effective June 1st. And then on January 1st, there'll be another 9% increase. So we'll be looking at how much more?
18,000.
Would it be? I don't think it'd be 18,000.
No, hold on.
If the salary is 100,000.
It's not 100,000. Over,
I'm looking at you.
hold on, I got it right here. In total, it'll
Excuse
be,
me, the position is at 92,000 right now.
Okay.
The reason for the increase on the amendment where it seems very low is because it was put into the budget at 94 for this year. So some money is already in the budget
Correct.
for the remainder of this year. This is the amendment, the ordinance only speaks to the increase for this fiscal year as it relates to this salary.
and then
Because
the next 9% will be in next
9%
year's
would be in
budget.
next year's budget, which would be done later on this year.
Correct.
Which is a total of,
And then I'd just like to also clarify that the intent here is to have all of our directors around the same salary range. And so this position, that if you guys remember, we had a lot of debate about the $92,000 when we brought the Director of Communications in. So this is to level set that position, to compensate her for the type of work that she's actually doing.
I guess my question would be is, right now, it'd probably be competitive with other positions of that sort, right?
Be very competitive with as we
Correct.
level set this, she will be competitive with other positions and like positions around the Louisiana area and other ports.
You know, it looks like 9% is, it's a little, getting one and getting the other. It's almost like, but I get it. I mean, we talked about it a little bit. So, Patty, I'm gonna withdraw my second.
okay.
All right. Are you still offering your amendment?
Yes,
All right.
because I have to.
Oh, okay, I gotta go through the process. Ms. McCarty offers an amendment. Do I have a second? Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
'Cause-
Seeing there's no second, there is, amendment dies. All right, Mr. Newsom, back to the original ordinance. Mr. Newsom, do you want to speak on this?
Oh, yeah, I can.
Okay,
Oh,
well-
shoot, put my eye.
All right, hold on.
Sorry, hit the wrong button.
All right, Mr. Newsom, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Juris, on your question earlier, I did some research on my own of this position. And what this comes up to is in the metro area of this type of work that we are asking this individual to do, this is in about the medium of the salary range for what I've researched in my own research. So it is comparable. Thank you, and I yield.
Ms. McCarty?
Okay, about the comparison of salary. I spoke with Mr. Schultz maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, and brought comparative salaries for the same position at other ports, and they were not at this level. One of them, in fact, was more like 40, 50,000. So that's just to put that on record. The other thing is because I think that we need to have specialists in different fields, I don't think we should increase the amount of jobs or duties for this position. And I'd like to ask, what is the total between the 2 years that this increase will be? 9% now and 9% later, what does that equal up to?
What will her salary become?
What will it become? What is the increase of the first 9%, and what is the increase of the second 9%?
Right here, Mr. McCarty, $48,000.
No, that's for the rest of the year. That's 4,800.
For this,
So
for this year.
her new salary would be roughly 110, I mean, I'm going off from current
Can our
budget.
finance person answer? She has it?
Yeah, 110,000 roughly, and again, our other directors are at 120.
Yeah, the first increase will put her right at 100,000, 100,280. And the second increase will put the employee at question right at 110.
Correct.
Okay, so the justification for this, I do not believe is a legally sound justification. I do not believe that you can raise one person's salary just because the other people have a different salary. It has to be based on merit and the job description itself.
You want to respond?
No,
This board can do.
This, I'm just gonna say, based on my experience and what I've seen, as an unclassified employee, we could put her salary at whatever we want. Just like we could put Charles's salary at whatever we want. Just like we could put Miss Glapion and Miss Patrice at whatever we want. They're unclassified employees. They're not subject to the same civil service rules. I mean, we raised Charles' salary, I don't remember what, when his contract was up. So, that I don't think is a legal argument, but Mr. Edwards.
Yeah, if we're talking about Ms. Vicknell, I think she has done an amazing job. Excuse me, I had the floor now, right?
Correct.
And so, and I also heard y'all saying you're trying to make sure all the directors at the same salary. So, to me, it's appearing she's being singled out. That's just my own personal opinion. And I just think that, and I shared this with several of the council members, and I shared it, when she came for the job, I had a person I called my son, applied for the job and didn't get it. So I should really have some animosity against her. No, I'm serious,
I get it.
And
didn't
so,
know.
but I didn't. So I really put how I felt about one of my sons not getting the job. And so I was watching her with hawk eyes. And I could tell you, she exceeded my expectation. I just think that she's done an amazing job. And I think the proposed director should be allowed some latitude or judgment of what he's doing with his staff. To me, it seemed like we really questioned her qualification And I think that's best up to the person that hired her in terms of whether she's meeting that expectation. And now, but this is saying to me, he felt like she's earned it and she deserved the merit increase and that she'll get another one. But at the end of it, all of them will be at the same thing. So it's not like showing favoritism to her. All other directors be at the same thing. And so I'm 100% in support of this.
You
I
yield?
yield.
Thank you. Ms. McCarty?
Okay, I'm not trying to make this about the person, but I already went on record saying that I think the professional media engagements have been stellar. I'm not discounting that. There are other issues that have come out that Mr. Tillotson is ultimately responsible for that have been business blunders, especially for our requirements of education. And I've gone over those the last few times that we've had meetings. And then, I don't know if anybody wants to go on record about the conversation that we had on March 31st after the meeting for the justification for raising this salary compared to another person's salary. What was it that was said? And you and I, Mr. Schultz, talked about it earlier today.
Yes.
Do you
And I
want to say
told
what it
you
was?
That there was 2 employees that we were making unclassified that we were trying to bring up to the other directors. That other employee decided not to move from civil service to unclassified. But why are we going to punish this employee because?
I'm not punishing her. I'm making,
So, yes, I don't remember the exact conversation on March 31st, but yes, that was pretty much just justification of if you raise one, not the other, it looks like you're playing favoritism and it could be construed as basically some type of discrimination. So,
discrimination, the key word.
yes, but we were changing 2 titles and giving them the same % increase.
But they-
I don't see.
I need to go on record saying, no, I need to go on record because of my degree to say that the job here is not similar. So therefore, you cannot compare one person's job with the other person's job and the amount that they are being paid.
All right, hold on. But at this point, that's not even relevant because now that other person is not even
The
doing.
initial reason it was brought up to increase the salary. And
And yes, that was one of the initial reasons, but also the other reason, which was presented by the port administration, of comparable salaries and the added work that we are giving to this position, was another justification. I get what you're saying, that was part of.
what was implied?
You can imply anything from, I'm not going there. And we're getting off subject. So I'm going to get us back in line with what we are actually voting on, which is a contract renewal. And I told you that this morning when you talked to me. I'm not afraid to say anything that was said in that conversation. That's basically where we went, and that we are going to stay on subject. If you don't want to vote for it,
It was
don't vote
implied
for it.
race.
You can. Okay. Do you yield?
I do yield because I've said what I need to say.
Okay. Mr. Jurisic,
She is gonna have some added duties moving up, right?
That is correct. We're already stretching her far beyond where she's ever been stretched before, doing other and different stuff.
I'm glad you can get a woman to do that.
all right. Hey, okay. Hey. Let's stay on agenda.
I call for the question, Mr. Chairman.
Question has been called. Machines are open. Passes 8-1 with a no vote from Ms. McCarty. Next item, please.
F, a resolution amending Resolution 2543, clarifying the cost share for purchasing a FLIR camera for its shared helicopter with Plaquemines Parish Sheriff's Office and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Commissioner Schultz.
I offer, ask for a second.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Newsom. Any comments from the audience?
And just clarification, so there's a 75%, 25% cost share. So the port and the sheriff's office is sharing 50% each of the 25%. So that is what we're doing here.
Any questions from the administration?
Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Koknovich?
Do we use the helicopter 50%?
We actually do. We're sending our guys up on almost a weekly basis.
Okay, and didn't we buy a camera a couple years ago?
No, I think that was a, navigation, PFD, basically,
We
primary
didn't
flight
buy a
display.
camera, because I told y'all I got one on our boat that's cheaper than this one.
I do remember that
Well,
conversation. I don't know.
Well, Commissioner Koknovich, I'd just like to say that, one of the things that we're really trying to do at the port, with assistance not only from the sheriff's department, but also from the Coast Guard, is to be very innovative in everything that we do in terms of our ability to assess the risk in our port district. I mean, the fact that, we have the largest, highest CapEx project in the world taking place here, and we're going from basically from 0 to 2 LNG vessels per day. It is imperative that we not only upgrade the cameras on the helicopter, but also the cameras that we have on the river, so that we can, see what's going on at all times.
And I thought, like I said, I thought we bought it a couple years.
No, I think
No,
we
that
wa-
was-
it
that was
was
navigation.
night vision stuff because I remember the conversation now.
Camera.
Well, yeah, but it was more the PFD flight display stuff and dealing with, because I remember you asking that, I'm like, so are we gonna fly an instrument now? And, Captain Sowers was like, no.
I asked about the FLIR camera too. and
Okay. You yield?
Yes.
Mr. Jursich?
Yes, I mean, I know this is definitely for security purposes, and, I mean, I got a FLIR camera as well. I don't know if mine would meet the security requirements that you need. And that's what the difference may be in the prices, because being that it's a security issue, that they may require that, and I see it is 75% funded, and we only 25%?
Yeah, we're splitting 25% of that. So 75% of it is covered by a grant.
Correct. So
Okay.
we're only paying
And
12.5.
that basically is, you probably need a little bit different camera for that than you need, maybe? I don't know how, boy.
No, FLIR's FLIR.
Yeah, you got a power rating. I can
All right.
find all on the water with it.
Machines are open. And passes 8-0, let the record reflect that Reverend Edwards had to leave for the graduation. So he is no longer present. Next item, please.
G, a resolution authorizing Charles D. Tillotson, Executive Director of Louisiana Gateway Port, to enter into and execute a professional services agreement with T. Baker Smith for an as-needed task order basis as directed by the Executive Director, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto Commissioner Schultz.
I offer to ask for a second. Not, second by Mr. Koknovich. I think I both said, yeah, I think I both said at the same time. Any comments from the audience? Administration? Table? Machines are open. Gotta give you a hard time. Passes 8-0. Next item, please.
H, a resolution authorizing Charles D. Tillotson, Executive Director of Louisiana Gateway Port, to enter into and execute a professional services agreement with Mino Marine LLC for an as-needed task order basis as directed by the Executive Director, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto Commissioner Schultz.
I offer ask for a second. Second by Ms. McCarthy. Any comments from the audience? Administration? Table? Machines are open. Passes 8-0. Next item, please.
L, an ordinance to authorize and direct the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District Executive Director Charles D. Tillotson or his designee to prepare and send mailouts to inform Plaquemines Parish residents and businesses of the port's progress and work being on a yearly or twice-a-year basis, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Commissioner LaFrance.
Miss-
It says
This has changes.
Yes. On line 19, we're removing costs associated and estimate at, and the annual cost will now be $9,500, and we're removing the $30,000. Line 27, add financial information from estimated costs for printing and mailing is being removed, and a new section 1 reads as follows. It hereby authorizes Executive Director Charles D. Tillotson of the Plaquemines Port Harbor and Terminal District, DBA Louisiana Gateway Port, to prepare and send mailouts to inform Plaquemines Parish residents and businesses of the port's progress on a yearly or twice-a-year basis. On line 34, $30,000 has been removed and $9,500 has been added in the port, in the chart. The fund number is 445 Port Harbor Fund, the department/division 490-2464 PPHTD Communications, 525, Object 525.610 Communications Other increase $4,500. Object number 541.020 Supplies Postage increased $5,000.
Mr. LaFrance,
Yes, it's still offered,
offered by Mr.
and,
LaFrance,
like twice a year.
second by Mr. Koknovich. Any comments from the audience? Administration, table. Machines are open.
I gave you the chance. I'm still doing it. I know I'm still mad.
Passes 8-0. Next item, please.
M, a resolution authorizing the port director to petition and file an application for a map change pursuant to and in conformity with the comprehensive zoning ordinance to rezone those certain properties located in Point Celeste Farm subdivision, Phase 1, identified as lots 27 through 29, and Lot 30 from floodplain district to heavy industrial district, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Commissioner LaFrance.
So offered.
Offered by Mr. LaFrance, or second by Mr. Jurisic.
Beat you to it.
Any comments from the audience? Administration, table. Machines are open. Passes 8-0. Next item, please.
8, approval of the minutes from the May 8th, 2025 regular meeting.
I offer, ask for a second. Second by Mr. LaFrance. Any comments from the audience? Administration, table. Machines are open. Passes 8-0.
Adjournment.
Motion by Ms. McCarty, second by Mr. Newsome. Any comments from the audience? Table, or administration? Table, machines are open. Ms. McCarty. And we have unanimous 8-0 adjournment at 5:28 PM.